Hello there. Welcome back to Understanding Design. Last time we spoke about design for sustainability. Today's subject is design and industry. We have with us Rashmi Korjan, who together with her partner Dinesh Korjan runs Studio Korjan. It is a design studio dedicated to product design and development. Good to have you here, Rashmi. Do tell us, what does product design involve, especially when we speak of design and industry?
Thank you, Nina. Well, today we find companies have to work very hard to create attractive solutions, especially because the market is full of similar products. Industry has to create features that differentiate their products to get an advantage over the competitors. Take mobile phones. In every category, they come with nearly the same features, and the ones with special features are the ones that are most popular. Today's audiences are well informed. They see beyond the promotions and evaluate products thoroughly before buying.
So, who does the industry turn to?
Increasingly, it is design that provides industry with a competitive advantage, developing products that respond effectively to user requirements.
So, what are some of the ways in which design does this?
Well, design enhances a product, helps it make it stand out. While much of this lies in the physical qualities of the product, a good part of it is also to do with the relationship that is built up between the user and the product. This is because the product satisfies user needs both at a functional level and at an emotional level.
You seem to be saying that good design leads to good business.
Yes, absolutely. Let's look at something that helps us understand this better. So, we can take the story of Gillette Guard razors. They were developed by Gillette, especially for the Indian market. Though Gillette had been in India for some time, they were not able to reach the lower income customers. Affordability was one big concern, but also their research showed that Indian men tend to have thicker hair than European men, and also in rural areas, people don't shave as frequently or not daily probably. So, in 2002, they developed a low-cost razor for this segment. They tested this razor with Indian students who were studying in Boston. All of them gave the razor a thumbs up. But when they launched it in India, it just didn't sell. Some years down the line, they decided to better understand the needs and aspirations of the Indian consumer. They sent 20 researchers into the field to closely observe and talk to potential users.
So, their studies would have helped in understanding the context.
Very much so. The research team saw firsthand that unlike the Indian students in the US, men in rural areas shaved without running water, sitting on the floor in very low light, sometimes with a small mirror and sometimes with no mirror at all. They also learned that these users were more concerned with safety than with a smooth shave. All this was new to the Gillette people, and they could not have discovered these realities without engaging with the customer in their context. The researcher visited homes, shops, had discussion groups, observed users, and recorded their observations.
Users and context. This is a designerly approach to problem solving.
Yes, very much. With these new insights, they began developing a new razor. It took them more than a year to come up with the new razor. It was called Gillette Guard. It's a single blade razor which is safe. It has a comb near the blade which is meant for the thick hair. It also has a textured handle, so it has a good grip, and there's a hole in it so you can hang the razor up on a nail. They were able to manufacture it at a low cost, and it has been a huge success in the market ever since it was launched. And you know, from the initial Boston study till this final stage, it has taken them 8 years.
So now we know how critical it is to understand users in their context. So Rashmi, in the case of Gillette, we had a company that asked designers to come up with a product that would expand their market. But I think you also have an example of an individual coming to a designer with a need which led to a new product.
Yes, it's an interesting story from the world of ergonomic design. Sam Farber, a manufacturer of cookware, watched his wife Betsy struggle with arthritic pain, especially when she was working in the kitchen. So he got in touch with a design firm called Smart Design, and he asked them to develop a range of kitchen tools which would be easier for her to use. This led to a new line of kitchen implements, the OXO Good Grips range. Kitchen products whose winning feature was their ergonomic handles.
I know, I have a peeler at home, it's really good.
Isn't it? So Betsy's special needs led to the creation of a new product range which became a new line of business for the manufacturer. You know, for quality results like this to emerge from a design exercise, the manufacturer and the designer must form an effective partnership, and then they work like allies and good work emerges.
Rashmi, can you share a successful project from your own design studio?
Yeah, sure. When we were commissioned at Studio Korjan to design an air cooler back in 1989, it was the first time that a mass-produced air cooler was being envisaged. At that time, small outfits made metal coolers, mostly custom made, and a few manufacturers made products that were out in the market.
Very noisy.
Noisy, and also they would rust. The brief for us was that it had to be a compact cooler, and it was designed for window installation just like an air conditioner. We designed the product to be mass produced by a process of plastic injection molding. And since it was large, we broke it up into 6 interlocking plastic components which could be easily assembled. This reduced the cost of tooling the product. The client had no manufacturing setup of his own, and they used to get the product manufactured from vendors, and they had an assembling facility, and this saved them time and money. That was the birth of the high quality Symphony air cooler.
I know, I remember I had one.
Yeah, and it was a product that was intended so that it would never rust. So actually in this way, new materials, new manufacturing techniques played a great role in the success of this product. The Symphony cooler caught the imagination of the market. In the first year alone, the company sold 25,000 coolers, 3 times what they had targeted. The product became the mainstay of the company, and the company then changed their name to Symphony Limited. In fact, we designers were amused when several imitation products cropped up in the following summer.
Like they say, imitation is the best form of flattery.
So, you know, sometimes designers invent a product which applies an existing technology in an entirely new way. This could lead to a radically new product which could be patentable. Let me tell you about Design Directions, a design consultancy firm run by our friends Satish and Falguni Gokhale. They've come up with a design for a dry powder inhaler for asthma patients. Combitide Starhaler is a 60-dose dry powder asthma inhaler providing uniform deep lung delivery of the drug to patients. The inner inhaler has a very resourceful design and is designed to increase efficacy by helping the drug reach deep in the lungs where it is most required and give faster relief to the patient. This enables the drug dosage to be reduced by half. It also lowers the expense for the user and also reduces the amount of drug that's going into the system. It is simple to operate by the patient, and a special mechanism eliminates the possibility of the error of double dosage.
Is it out finally?
Yes, this has now been taken up for manufacture and it's available in Indian and global markets.
I want to now discuss the visual aspect of design. You won't buy something if you don't like its looks, no matter how useful it is. But good design integrates form with function, right?
Very much so. A product's visual appeal plays a big part in attracting customers and also in creating an emotional connect with the product. Of course, design has to go beyond the surface looks. For example, a Pune-based design firm, Ticket Design, which is led by Nishma Pandit and Balkrishna Mahajan, designed the packaging for Hokey Pokey ice cream. It is a brand that is targeted at young customers.
But I love it too.
Really? It comes in a bold triangular package with striking colors and graphics, which makes the product stand out from its competitors. But that's not all. The form is easy to hold and it is stackable and instantly recognizable by the user. Each of its different flavors has a different colored packaging. There is also a spoon integrated into the lid, which is protected and kept clean by a label which goes on top. And the container itself is sturdy, so it can be reused in people's homes.
So here is a well-made product that communicates quality, care and thoughtfulness. It's a good design and its appeal is not merely skin deep. Alright Rashmi, it's chair time.
Chai time?
Chair time Rashmi, chair. You know how in every module of this course, we have been using the chair as an example. So I hope you have a chair for us today.
2 chairs actually. First, an all-time classic, the Thonet No. 14. It was designed by German-Austrian cabinet maker Michael Thonet. And it is believed that this chair holds the distinction of having seated the maximum number of people in the world. The Thonet No. 14 consists of 2 pieces of bent wood, 2 circles, 2 sticks, and can be held together with 10 screws and 2 nuts. That's all that goes into it. Earlier, Thonet used to carve wood into desired shapes. Then he began experimenting with the technique of bending wood with heat and pressure. He exposed the wood to steam to soften it and then bent it into curves in cast iron molds. Once dried and cooled, the wood would hold its shape, and these bent wood components were used to make the chair. As a result of this special manufacturing process, you get a strong but lightweight, versatile chair, widely used in cafes, but it's also used in homes, libraries, shops, kitchens.
I know it's there in all the Irani restaurants.
It first made its appearance back in 1859. It is considered the first truly mass-produced chair. This innovative design pushed the boundaries of what was possible in mass-produced furniture and set standards which are still valid today, more than a century and a half later. This is a picture of the components for 36 Thonet chairs packed into 1 cubic meter box to be shipped and then assembled on site. Let's go over some of its special features again. It has very few parts and they are standardized. This reduces the inventory. The components can be shipped efficiently. It can be easily assembled on site. And it's, the forerunner of the flat pack furniture that is so popular today.
So what about the second chair you mentioned?
This is about a chair originally designed by Marcel Breuer, who was a teacher at the Bauhaus at that time.
Let me tell you about the Bauhaus. It was the first modern design school in Germany, and its influence continues till today in the way design is taught and practiced around the world.
It's an interesting story about Breuer. When he was a faculty at Bauhaus, he used to drive a bicycle back and forth and would observe the handlebar of the bicycle every day. He realized that this bent metal pipe has not been used in furniture so far, and that inspired him to develop this range of furniture. This chair became extremely popular in India after Godrej started manufacturing it.
But what about the patent of the chair?
Godrej started manufacturing it after the patent had expired. They even designed a metal table to go with it. And this became the iconic table and chair set that we see in government offices and banks all over the country. So this chair is popularly called the cantilever chair. And I want to show you why this design has remained timeless and hasn't changed for 5 decades. People don't realize what a fantastic chair this is. So it consists of one S-bent metal pipe, which is a single continuous piece, and that provides comfort while sitting, but also it gives you springiness while you sit. Then this cane weave, it adds to the comfort, but also it provides ventilation, and that's absolutely great for hot and humid climates. Additionally, the seat and the back have a wooden frame, and these are separately assembled, which makes the manufacturing process really easy because the metal part is done separately and then these frames are added on separately.
What a journey Marcel Breuer's chair has seen. It is important for the designer to have a good understanding of possibilities and limitations of materials and manufacturing. I was thinking that classic designs like the chairs you just showed stay forever, but in the modern context, products are evolving constantly.
Yes, this is due to constant advancement in technologies. Manufacturing and materials also change, as do people's aspirations. In our times, we see products continuously evolving to keep pace with the times.
Yeah, look at the publishing industry. What changes we have seen in the very idea of a book, both in its physical form as well as in the user interface. Although this is mass-produced, it has possibility of so much customization.
That's true. Several people may be reading the same book, but it could be in a different size, in a different font, all based on their individual preferences. Also, we could be walking around with a few hundred books, and that was previously unimaginable.
And you know, not many people go to bookshops anymore. Everyone's buying online.
Not only books, every possible product, our daily necessities, even travel and hotel stay. It's all done online.
That obviously has implications on the role of a designer.
Of course, designers today not only design products, but also the interfaces through which users converse with manufacturers, sellers, service providers, and the quality of this interaction is determined by the quality of the interface.
All of these things generate massive amount of data.
Well, yes, data visualization is another area where designers are actively involved. Designers work through large amounts of data, making it accessible to the people who need that information.
Indeed. In fact, we have a colleague here at IDC, Professor Venkatesh Rajamanikam, who has done a lot of work in this area. So Rashmi, what are your thoughts on the future of design with reference to industry?
Many things are changing, including manufacturing processes. For example, what we have here is a 3D printer. It's quite possible that in the not so distant future, a designer could upload maybe the design of a knitted garment, and you could download it and have it made right here on your desktop.
So what about designers?
Designers are increasingly dependent less and less on big capital or sponsors. Designers can now upload their proposals on crowdfunding platforms and raise funding to realize their ideas. This is a whole new way of doing business instead of the traditional way of them having to wait for clients.
We could go on, and there's a lot more to talk about. But thank you so much, Rashmi, for such a wonderful session about the deep connections between design and industry.